You know what I mean? Kind of just do this stream and just let everybody know, man. Whoever's out there that's about to pop in and watch. Let's see what we got going on. I don't know where I put my laptop. I probably left it in. Hold on, let me go get my laptop. These niggas gotta do a check. That shit ain't. This shit says supposed to be done in a minute. I ain't.
Do what in a minute?
A DMV check, the driver check.
Oh, what you?
Yeah. And then how long does it take till you get your deposit back?
What card did you? Well, with mine, I used Charm card, so it came back the same day.
Same day you get it back?
I got mine back the same day, even with the hotel. I just used. I got
Wow.
money. Shit, that's
Okay. I don't know, because some places will say 2 weeks for some reason. Hmm. All right, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. There's actually something. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. Yeah. So basically, I'm making this video basically to tell you that you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times we get in our own heads and, we tend to allow things to take over, allow our mind to take over. You know what I mean? And download information that ain't even there. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of times it's the frame of mind that you approach a situation with. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta just step back and just approach it with a can do attitude. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be able to hop over this, or go over this obstacle, go through this obstacle, go over this mountain or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But that that inner strength takes time for you to master. You understand what I'm saying? It takes time for you to really master that. And you know what I mean? Sometimes when you walk in that ledge, you dig what I'm saying? Monkey Queen, big up yourself. Big up yourself, Monkey. What a name. You are the best. Thank you so much, Monkey Queen. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But yeah, you know what I mean? You have to have that self belief that, yeah, you'll be able to do whatever it is that you put your mind to. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you put your mind to, you know? Hi, I love you, says Liv Kins. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. The year Y2K. What's good, Y2K? Hey man, I remember the year Y2K. A lot of y'all might be too young to really remember what happened in the Y2K. I remember I was young too in Y2K, but I wasn't a baby. I was a kid, but I wasn't a baby. You understand what I'm saying? But it was a lot of stuff that happened around that time. I don't know if you guys can kind of remember, and I don't know how it was like in your neck of the woods or where it is that you were from, but where I was living at the time, in which at that time I was living in Florida. And when I was living in Florida at the time, the people that I was around, because you know what I mean, I was around some Jamaicans and Pentecostals, because you know what I mean, my heritage, my family, like, we're Jamaican. You know what I mean? Obviously African, but Afro Jamaican, and some and roots spread out in different places as well. But there were people that actually thought that there was 2000 was the coming of that Christ was going to come back that year. You know what I mean? And it scared everyone to death, man. It was crazy. Everyone was just petrified. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that were running to get baptized and all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? But I just remember kind of being paranoid that year because I was on that. I tapped into that frequency of everyone around me, even though years earlier I had I asked the pastor when I was like 7 years old. I asked the pastor, I was like, "Yo, where does God come from?" And he really couldn't answer it. You know what I mean? So, but when I saw all the adults kind of acting a certain type of way, and all the adults being hysterical, and all the adults anticipating something, and all the adults kind of fear mongering and saying, "Are you ready for the rapture?" and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? It kind of, it kind of had a ripple effect. Whether, what I mean, whether that's by design or what, it had a ripple effect. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, it's like, how these days, like, they have Robin Hood, and or you got like sports betting, and people kind of bet on this result or that result or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I remember I got to a point where I was like, yo, I started not believing he was gonna come. You know what I mean? And then I remember having a bet, even though I was a kid. I was like, yo, I bet he's not coming for real. And he didn't come. The person bet me that he would, and he didn't come. You know what I mean? But I feel like teach his own. I'm gonna just leave it there. Big ups to everybody that's tapping in with me, though. I appreciate it. Can you please shout me out? Says, hey, yo, big shout outs to Jeremy Tyson that says, oh my God, I love the videos. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? Big shout outs to everybody that be tapping in. Cause here, this is a place where we just keep it real. You know what I mean? We're not gonna sugarcoat nothing. We're just gonna give you what it is as it is. So if nowhere else in the world you'll be able to get that, you'll be able to get that here. You know what I mean? And we all just come here and just kick it. You dig what I'm saying? People from all over, we just kick it. You know what I mean? We appreciate each other's energy. We motivate one another. You know what I mean? You guys motivate me, and I hope I do the same as well. You know what I mean? So big shout out to Jeremy Tyson. I don't know how long you've been watching, if you've actually really watched before, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys are subscribing as well. Thank you for the thumbs up as well. Thank you for liking the video. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, guys, you know what I mean? There's gonna be a lot of obstacles in life, man, and a lot of I think it was around that time where I started to really, because I always really question things, but I think it was around that time where I was like, man, I don't really know if all the adults around me are really wrapped too tight. You know what I mean? And it's not just them. It's not just the ones that are around me. It's various different people in various different places that have beliefs, that believe things that they don't even know why it is that they believe it, but they believe it out of fear. And I think the majority of people believe in a lot of things out of fear. I think they open their fear receptors before they open uh, the receptors of, when I say courage, yeah, courage. You know what I mean? Like a can-do attitude. And I think we've been programmed that way by design. I think people have been programmed that way by design. So instead of a lot of times making the more rational decision, or not even the most rational decision, but even whatever decision it is that you make, that you're able to kind of just slow things down, just slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? If we all just take a step back and just slow down a little bit and just kind of just analyze things as opposed to just reacting, because sometimes we do that as human beings. Yeah, man, I think things would go a whole lot smoother. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody say listen to Netspin. Big up yourself. Netspin, please, please, please. Please shout me out, please. The year Y2K. Big shout out to the year Y2K. And you talking about please listen to Netspin. All right, man. What's it about? Like tell me what am I bringing into my frequency when I listen to that? What am I plugging myself into when I listen to that? You dig what I'm saying? I'm mindful of it. So, I don't want to just sit up here and just promise you that I am going to listen to it unless it's something that's going to motivate me, or maybe it got a nice bop to it or something like that. But don't have me listen to nothing that's just some rap. Like I'm beyond the point where I just want to listen to some crap right now, or something that's ratchet, or something that's speaking about doing something to people that, you know what I mean? That's not the type of frequency that I'm on right now. You dig what I'm saying? So, no disrespect, but if that's what it is, then I'd rather pass. You dig what I'm saying? That's not where I'm at right now. Yeah. Somebody say, who? Thank you for subscribing. Rebecca Towns, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. Ooh, this ringing in my ear coming directly from this. Okay, God, hopefully you guys can still hear me. Coming directly from the AirPod. But yeah, man. Yeah. Multiplayer single. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, just approach it with that can do attitude because you can do it. You know what I mean? I see the God in you. You got to see the God in yourself. You dig what I'm saying? And in order to see the God in others, you got to see the God in yourself. You know what I mean? So we're gonna use that term God um for lack of not even lack of a better term, but because a lot of people identify or know of that name when they speak of this spiritual entity. You know what I mean? But we're all spiritual beings. You understand what I'm saying? And as spiritual beings, God resides within us. God resides around us. God is everywhere at all times. You know what I mean? So it's about tapping that frequency. Yeah. You see me. I'm not even going to acknowledge you, Nate. Nate Clark. We don't do it here, disrespect. Nobody talking about no plantation. So I'm gonna go ahead and block you and you. You have a nice life. You don't need to be here. You know what I mean? Obviously, this ain't something for you. Choose to disrespect. I'm gonna ban you. Take care, man. Have a nice life. Hold on. How do I do this? Okay. Let me see. Deleted messages. Remove. All right. Remove them. Yeah. Simple as that, bro. We don't deal with that racism and separation. You dig what I'm saying? Um, we don't deal with that. We gotta understand that everybody is one. You dig what I'm saying? And I've said disrespectful things about other people in response to them disrespecting black people. You know what I mean? I've done that. You understand what I'm saying? But for the most part, I do know that we're all human beings. We're all part of. We're really one. Every again, in order to see the God in others, you have to see the God in yourself. You know what I mean? We're all one. Everything is just energy. Everything is energy can't be created nor destroyed. You know what I mean? So energy lives within all of us. I think we ought to cultivate that within not only ourselves but within one another as well. And I think a little bit of respect goes a long way. But you're not gonna come over here and disrespect anyone and expect respect in return. Don't expect that. I could if I so choose to deal with it how I want to deal with it. But at the same time, if you choose to disrespect, somebody could choose to disrespect you back. And you know what I mean? It just is what it is. That's the way how I see it anyway. Anyway, big shout outs to all of y'all, man. I just wanted to tap in with y'all. I'm gonna continue doing these lives as well. I just want to be tapping in with y'all, man. And you understand what I'm saying? Thank y'all for subscribing. We definitely growing. You know what I mean? We're growing. We just continue to grow. And we'll continue to do this motivating thing. You know what I mean? I'll be back later. One love to each